Oh, yay. More commentary time again. Not to mention, I'd never done this since I did this months ago, so here we are again. So, Tokar in Season 4 for the Truck Series has been by far one of the most chaotic seasons already. We got a boatload of issues, Babe Juice being a menace, and most importantly, Tokar going to space for the first time in its entire history. No, seriously, they definitely did that. So, in hindsight, why not do a little quick recap for this? It all started back in Talladega last week, when we had by far one of the most chaotic races where Eddie the Hatman went ejected and hit the trailer park, killing 270 people, and ejected himself to space, where he also died. And after the race, to decide which track we're going next week for week 5, it was confirmed that couple heading back to Pigs Creek, which was by far my favorite track, and an unknown race, which caused speculation to everybody to see where are we going there. So we waited, and waited, and waited, and waited, and waited until Thursday at around 5 a.m., where it was announced that we'll be racing in the moon. So the reason why they selected the moon is kind of undetermined. Maybe it's because we wanted to see what they can do in space, or they kind of leaked it via the commentators preferring about Eddie the Hatman. Okay, I've been yapping too much. Let's just get this over with. For the front row for tonight's race, it's the two most hated people of Tokar, Chicken McNugget and Babe Juice. And you get the rest. It did not take long until lap 2 when we have our first trouble of the day, with LeBron, Kitus, Camaro, and many more, followed by LED Lights, who had by far his struggling season to date after a lot of controversy. And after that, everything went to normal. Well, apart from Marcus Andretti, who flipped over by intentionally, but managed to continue the race. It didn't take long for a while, and until lap 12, we got our first trouble with these two conjoints again, and the 77 of Okie Finoki, clogging up traffic, but nothing really happened. And by the time we restarted once again, it was retained normalcy, with Master Chris taking the lead, with Young Stroker the Body Snatcher next to him. For this point, it was still not bad for a short track moon race. Unless you're Ginger Joe, who said, F it, time to take out Munga St. Brown, who takes out most of the drivers, including his brother, Jake, into the wall hard, and calls out a caution. And after one Australian camera, to say the least, we resumed with Master Chris and Ginger Joe on front with an 89, which I'm not going to pronounce his name, or else I will get in big trouble, taking the lead until we get another caution because of LeBron Kitus trying to say, you know what, I kind of miss Shave, and I want to recreate his death from Season 2, who did it and tried to kill himself. And once again, greened it away with the 89 up front, with the Unstroker right behind him, trying to catch up to him. It was a while, but it didn't take long once again. Unfortunately, if your day begins with Gouda, she's not having a good time. Well, she ain't having a good time because she made a lot of enemies that night. But the caution was out because it couldn't find James Sr., Scubs, the 89, and Heinz Hopeless, who is still hopeless after this, and many more involved. Well, it didn't take long afterwards, because after moments later, the front runners get taken out. Well, two of them, the 89, the 43, and the 30 of Marcus Andretti. And at this point, I don't even know when I'm continuing to count cautions, because there's so many cautions that already happened, so... But the worst, I can cover one. After one green flag later, and a good clear green flag, I guess, and around like lap 64, all hell breaks loose because Andrew and everybody else gets collected and everybody else gets involved, with the 99 getting the comeuppance. And as of recording, I don't know what about the 99, about Andrew, if he's alive or dead, but as for this, I don't know. And so far, I predict he's dead. After one green flag and one more incident with Spindiano, Spud, and Joe Swanson, and it was up front between Ginger Joe, Pittman Hoover, and Eaton Beaver for the line. But the bigger winner was Eaton Beaver initially, as he had by far the good run of the 55 truck. However, you cannot stop the cop, or the policeman, as it was Pittman Hoover to come home the victory by the shortest of margin between the 13 and the 55. To end off by far one of the craziest races, but hilarious, of all time.